Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the seventh episode of the Talking Horse.
Welcome. Today we have a new guest. Please introduce yourself. Feel free.
Hi, thank you for having me here. My
Hi,
name
Raquel.
is Raquel. I'm a civil engineer and I'm a professor in the engineering faculty of UAEMéx.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell us something about yourself? How was your days when you studied here in the faculty?
It wasn't that long ago. Nevertheless, I think it has changed quite a bit the way, I don't know, youngsters now approach to each other. We used to go to the old well, we used to study anywhere we could, to be fairly honest.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to study with a lot of noise and, laughing and making fun of absolutely everything. And,
Okay.
that interaction was really nice, and that's something you truly miss once you finish school, right? So yeah, now I kind of see it a bit different, probably because there are new things or new ways to approach each other, especially with social media. It has become pretty much the main way you interact with each other.
Yeah.
And at the time I was here, there was social media, but it was not as important as it is now, I think.
Yeah, it was not like this everyday use we have nowadays, right?
And it's
So
kind of essential in for example, your close friends. I don't know if you know somebody, but you don't have his or her social media. It's almost like if you didn't even almost know him.
yeah, but now obviously it has become far more important because that's the way we keep in touch with each other, as we don't longer see each other every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
in order to keep that friendship, you definitely need that social media. And then I think we've become a bit more interested in that because of our needs, that when you start working, you cannot have that sort of close relationship with
Yeah.
your
Mhm.
co-workers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not like when you are studying that you sometimes could go out with your friends and stuff, right?
Yes, definitely. Now it really takes a long time to just have time to go out together.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never experienced that, especially in I don't know, a professional way that you have to be or develop yourself in a different way, right?
Definitely.
It's not the same the jokes that you can make with I don't know the friends in in the classroom as I don't know a partner, no, or in a company.
Yeah, definitely. And you can tell that, even when we are hanging out and, trying to be silly as we used to be and everything,
Yeah.
it kind of, that doesn't flow the way it was. Because each one of us now have a job, and you have to
And
have
responsibilities. And
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
You definitely grow so much, and you truly can see that in your friends. You grow so much as a person, because when you start working, you definitely struggle a lot and you learn a lot as well, right? But yeah, you definitely change and you grow a lot as a person, and you can tell that in your friends. And yeah, the relationship is still close, but it is not as silly as it used to be somehow. So yeah.
And after all this experience, how do you compare or could say is the differences between I don't know coming back to the faculty and maybe changing the role that you were playing, right? How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels so weird because first of all, I don't look like if I was a professor. I look
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
much like a student.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's a bit difficult, I have to say, with the students. It may be. Some others, it is not a problem at all. But yeah, you definitely have a different level of maturity, and you take a look at kind of at yourself, because your students reminds everyone you met, and even yourself, and you say, oh my god, did I used to be like that? And no,
I bet
not
you
even
could understand now some of the attitudes of the professors, no?
Exactly. And now I can talk to my friends. Some of them are also professors, and they kind of share pretty much the same experiences and ways of thinking and everything as me, and it's a total change of approach towards education. So
Yeah. Okay, and now looking back at your studying days, you said you are a civil engineer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me if you remember how was being a student? Did you like your classes? Maybe were your professors like, I don't know, maybe hard, strict? Looking back, how would you describe your experience being here as student?
First of all, I think it was like my favorite time ever.
Okay.
I truly enjoyed being here. And I remember when I was like in junior high or in high school, I didn't like school that much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've always been super responsible and everything, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did here, and I just felt it was my place. Even though at the very beginning it was really hard, and I think you also experienced pretty much the same thing as I did, because when you start here, you think that you're sort of good in maths, and you kind of have like that idea of, oh, it's not that difficult for me, but when
And you passed from the 10 and the 9s in the high school and come here, and maybe you are happy because you passed with a 6. No?
Yes, it's totally different, and I think it's kind of like the hardest part, because it has to do like with dealing with yourself, with that ego of thinking, oh, I'm good, and then you go and like, oh my god, I don't think I'm that good enough to be here. You know, like that's the first thing that hits you when you start here. But I don't regret anything, because I learned so much, and it was really hard. Like, definitely had to put aside like so many things in my life just to keep on being here and trying to do my best here.
Yeah.
But at the end, all the risk, or maybe sometimes all these efforts, worth it, right?
Yeah, of course, definitely it is worth it. Probably not, because like it kind of, I think it kind of depends on why you are here.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because if you go out and you think like, oh, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna earn so much money and I'm gonna be rich and I'm gonna be famous and like,
well,
no,
engineering is not very famous, no?
that doesn't work. That doesn't work that way.
Okay.
You know, but you definitely reach a point when you feel quite satisfied with what you've learned, with your way and absolutely everything. So I think it's worth it, because you get a different view of everything that surrounds you. As an engineer, you will tell it, and whenever you have to collaborate with other,
like another peer
team.
you definitely have like really nice abilities.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really nice. It definitely stands out because of that abilities you learned. But yeah, and you learn that you can also help a lot of people with them.
Yeah.
And that's satisfying.
Well, it hits me a little bit because, well, right now in almost finishing my career in ISIS, and this is a very common thought in these cases, that you are getting close to the end of the career, you are almost sending all your signatures and all that stuff, and sometimes we feel that we haven't learned enough. Have you ever felt that when you were studying, or then I don't know?
I felt I don't know, like by the end of the career, I was so much into like being here all the time that my last semester I just wanted to have a lot more fun than I had before. So yeah, I definitely wanted that. So I didn't really thought about that, and I did try to kind of like figure out what path I would like to take in my career, because you definitely end up in something you didn't even think about. Yeah, but I was trying to be open. I was trying to take a look at all the options and to try just a tiny bit of each one, so I could say where I could develop myself, right, as an engineer.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it is normal for you to feel like that.
Yeah.
Yes, and because I think here we think a lot about, oh, we're amazing and we know everything, but that's not the thing. Actually, the more you learn, the more you understand that you don't know.
Okay.
And that's okay, because you don't have to see it as something
That's kind of
negative.
the first walls that you find in the I don't know in our work areas, right?
I think with yourself, the fact that you think that you don't know, it's the first
The step to understand or learn even more, no?
yeah, to learn even more, but also to deal with that, because sometimes you end up messing up things that you did know because you thought you didn't know.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you start
That's
to
very
be
common.
insecure and everything, and the first fight, I think, is with yourself.
Yeah.
So once you kind of move on that and you start to be open and you start to feel comfortable with understanding that you will always have to learn, that you will always have to study, that's when you kind of reach an stability when you go out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I have another question. Do you remember any of your subjects that you could tell that you enjoyed or you liked?
I truly enjoyed the very first ones,
Yeah.
which are the ones that many people are like, oh my god, I don't like them, I want to see engineering being applied.
Yeah.
But I also remember that I truly enjoyed them, and they are still like really important to me, and it truly amazes me the way we can model things that nature show us,
Yeah.
or how those models makes us understand things that, although we were watching them, we were not observing them the right way. It kind of sounds a bit stupid because
But that's the reason why it's the first signature, right? Because you have to learn and understand it before getting into the I don't know the strong points, no?
yeah, but also like when you understand that you're not learning to observe the right way. I mean, it is like, how can you not observe? Like,
Okay.
no, you don't. You don't take a look at, as I don't know, like back in the time, like with our pre-Hispanic cultures.
Okay.
Oh my god, just by taking a look at things, they understood so much, and there's something that we have lost a lot. And when you take a look at those mathematical models being applied, and then like seeing them in real life, oh my god, that truly changes your perspective, and it truly amazes you. And that's what I like about this. And there's like this phrase that I once heard in a TED video, and this doctor, he's a neuroscientist, I think. He said something like, when you have a greater sense of understanding, it comes a greater sense of wonder, and to make you understand that you are part of and not apart from nature.
Okay.
So yeah, that definitely makes me be more respectful with all my surroundings,
But also
and everything.
this feel of powerful now that I have this knowledge and I could apply it, no?
I don't think it's not about the power of knowing, but the power of
Creating,
of understanding.
Yeah, like
I
being
think
able
that's
to.
the power. Whenever you understand something, you are able to appreciate it, to respect it.
Like this recognition also, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that made me kind of change the approach I had in my career, because as a civil engineer, you have certain approach, right? And I actually turned to your approach. With environmental impacts. I did change. I started a master's related to environmental impact. Yes, it is about concrete, but it also has this environmental impact evaluation.
And it's something like I don't know, new materials to.
Not exactly like a new material, because concrete it is like an old friend to us. But yeah, you kind of understand how different mixtures impact.
It's for example, I don't know, how is it in English? ACB.
Yeah, I made a LCA.
And
LCI, life cycle assessment. LCA, LCA. I made one, but only to one category, which is global warming potential. that one. Yeah, with concrete, and that made me learn so much and to change my approach. And it was really difficult at the very beginning because I didn't know anything. So yeah, it changed my mind, and all started because everything started because of my. Well, at that time I wasn't a volunteer, but I was going to this uh, to ride a bike with Fundación Tlaloc. I don't know if you've
No, I haven't heard about it.
Oh my god,
Never.
really?
Ever.
Yeah, well, I went there and I didn't know how to ride a bike. I didn't.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I learned there, and then I was like, they have a team which are called Pishkis, which in Otomi means guardians.
Okay.
So they definitely help you to be in a safe environment, to learn to use your bike.
Yeah, exactly. Something like I don't know. Yeah, like senderism and these kind of things, no? Like,
Yeah, like
to
hiking.
living in the nature, no?
Yes, but yeah, this team totally helps you because you have to be. How can I say it? You have to be confident enough to go out in a bike here in the city. So to have a group of people that are volunteering to take care of you while you do that, and you get to know your city.
Yeah,
you're
because we have to
riding
guarantee
your
our
bike.
security, right?
Yeah, of course. It's amazing, and that truly led me to gain far more abilities in my life.
Yeah.
And then I became a volunteer. I didn't know I could do that because I was pretty much like, oh my god, I don't think I'm good enough because I just started to ride a bike. It's been like 3 years since I started to ride a bike, so
I think it's a long time actually.
No, but I learned.
Well, something is to learn riding a bike, and another thing is to learn how the organization works, how it works, how the stuff that you have to do. No, it's the hard part, I think.
Well, they are really open, and you definitely have to kind of know a bit about bikes, right? At least how to ride a bike. I'm not so good, but they definitely were really open to me and really nice. And it's such a really nice environment. I thought that you know about that.
No, I've never heard about it. Yeah, I love biking, and I love all this stuff about the bikes, but I always done it by myself. No, I never heard about it.
Yeah, it's really nice, and now I take part of them, and this Fundación Tlaloc has like different projects, 10 different projects in order to work for sustainability here in Toluca, but it also has like a global impact because as you may know, global warming, for example, if you have an emission of greenhouse gases here in Toluca, it will definitely affect the other part of the world.
Yeah.
Right? It is not that, they're gonna stay, all the greenhouses are gonna stay here. Like, no, they move all along the planet, right? So what you do here, it does impact the whole.
And also, in addition of the pollution that is, and the emission of pollution, I don't know, in China and the United States also affects us here.
Exactly, and that's what they are doing. They say, okay, by working here locally, we're gonna help globally.
Okay.
But we have to start here. And there are like different movements.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Could you share with us some, I don't know, info or some, I don't know, how could the people who's hearing or listening to the podcast, how to go to contact with the Fundación Tlaloc?
Yeah. For example, if you want to ride your bike and get to know the city, and it's such a really, really nice environment. Like, people there are so nice. We're always here to help and to keep you safe. There are 2 days a week whenever this thing takes place. On Sundays at 10 a.m. in El Águila, Colón.
I think I've seen them.
Yeah, 10 a.m. And on Wednesdays, Noches de Vicio, they are called, at 8:30 in the same place.
It's only here in Toluca?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, it's here in Toluca. Well, sometimes we kind of reach Metepec and
and around, but not, for example, I don't know, in Mexico City, right?
No, it's here. We once made a really long trip. We went to Tenango. We also returned, so they were 57 kilometers. It was crazy. They're usually like really small trips. like
And
10
in danger all the
kilometers.
time, no? If you don't have this, I don't know, kind of stamina, and you don't have this experience with the bike, you can start with, I don't know, some low level.
No, you can go, like, definitely that was kind of like an special
Mm-hmm.
trip,
Okay.
right? But usually they are like around 10 kilometers,
Okay.
10 or 12 kilometers on Sundays, and on Wednesdays around 15 to 20 sometimes.
Well, that's
Yeah,
very much,
well, not that
no?
much. We usually have a lot of help, and
Okay, okay.
we don't let you alone.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
you're gonna be safe. You're gonna be happy, and yeah, it's gonna be nice. And that led me to actually make the decision of getting a master's, but with a different approach in
Mhm.
my own career, but with a totally different approach that I think it definitely enriched my my profession, and that made me understand so many things that I didn't know about everything that surrounds us. And
Mhm.
as I told you, it definitely made me respect them more, and made me understand not only the problems we are facing,
Yeah.
but also to think about solutions.
Thinking about it, I know there's a lot of, for example, problems involved. I don't know, in the building industry and all the stuff behind what we always called as progress, or, for example, make a living for the people. Do you think is compatibility? There exists a compatibility between the access of for a living to people and sustainability style of life? Do you think is it possible?
I think everything has a limit, to
Yeah.
be fairly honest, because as human beings, we all have needs. And in order to meet those needs, you have to have a certain amount of resources. Although you all can hit sustainability, you have to understand that we kind of have like just an amount of resources available.
Yeah.
So you cannot have so much people.
And we can't get grower and growing cities, no, or make it everything bigger. No?
We cannot keep on being so many people.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know it sounds so awful and everything, but we do have limited resources.
Mhm.
And the fact of progress is not that terrible, but I think it has been done in a wrong way, because I think everything starts because we think that we are not part of nature. To see ourselves like something different, and to keep ourselves like in these environments we have built ourselves, makes us think that we are different from nature. Like nature is something like
Apart from us.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's not the thing, and that's the problem now.
Mhm.
So probably you can definitely make better decisions while progressing, but you also have to understand that these limited resources has to limit the amount of people we are, because you won't meet all the needs from so many people.
Yeah.
Even if you do it in like you try to do it as green as possible and everything, but everything has a limit, and you have to understand that.
Yeah, I think all of this comes down to the thing, something that you were mentioning before, as to be able to see the bigger image, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, focusing and maybe making some changes and adapting to some specific things, but considering it as a part of a whole, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you can take a look at that, like just at taking a look at nature, because everything has a cycle, right?
Yeah.
And everything depends on each part of the cycle, and that's what we are not understanding. That we have to stay together in order to make a difference, to save the planet, to everything, because that's what nature is showing us. When everything sticks together and works as a whole,
Yeah.
nature happens, life happens, right? So we have to do pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has to do a lot with, I don't know, I think like
It comes with a lot of studies, and you have to learn even more, no? And sometimes something.
I think it has to do a lot with the way we been thinking about ourselves as a society and all the beliefs we've grown in each one of us of needs that are not truly needs,
Hmm.
you know.
Right now, I feel very comfortable with what you are saying right now because that's the main point, or that was my idea when I chose this career, you know. But right now, I feel kind of a little bit disappointed with this. I don't know, not with the knowledge I've learned. It's more like the present that we're living. How do you feel about it? About all you know now? Do you feel there's any way or a positive scenario in the future?
I think it definitely hits you. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying because whenever you start to learn and then you have a greater comprehension of what we're facing and
Yeah.
how you could help to make it better,
Mm.
and you also understand that
There's not much that you can do that.
no, like the government is not like truly interested, people
Mhm.
is not truly interested, people is not truly informed, and they don't look for that information
Mhm.
because nowadays you can look for that information, but they just don't really care about that. It kind of feels bad, but at the very end of the day, I think that what you're doing as a person, it's great.
Mhm.
The fact that there's someone that believes that things can change and that actually does things to make a change,
Mm-hmm.
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I think that's what life is
I'm not
about.
very agree with that.
Like, yeah.
Because, for example, sometimes there's a lot of actions that we can understand and think, okay, that's what the politics are. Or even sometimes the scientists tell us that is correct. In a couple of years, maybe comes a new, I don't know, a new paper or something like that that tells you that maybe what you were doing was even worse than the first option.
Yeah, of
No,
course, definitely.
yeah, it's always appearing new information, and sometimes it's like, okay, the problem is us, no, as a society, or even us as people that, or as I don't know, as a species that it keeps growing without any kind of control.
Yeah. Um, I understand what you're saying, but I go back to the same.
Hmm.
It has to do also with yourself.
Yeah, that's better than nothing. No?
Yes, and I do understand. I also like sometimes take a look at some decisions that the government made, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
who can say that or who can do that? Like, it's complicated, and as you said, there are many things that you have to keep on like researching in order to understand and to figure out whether it is good or it is not that good
Mhm.
or it is even worse. Like that, definitely, it's true. Yeah, but also that part, I think it's really nice that you have the chance of having that recognition. What we talk
Mhm.
about, like seeing nature, understanding nature, being able to respect
Sometimes
a
even
bit more.
just love the nature, right?
Yes, yes.
There's a lot of people who I know I don't care about these topics.
Yeah, and that also comes from the thought that you don't understand that, or we as a society don't understand that we are here together and that I don't know, like for having certain job or for having more money, you
Mhm.
think that that won't affect you, and the
Yeah.
fact is that nature is actually democratic.
Yeah.
Everyone is equal, and that's actually why mathematics works.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
think
now that
about
we're
it, we work with equalities.
Yeah.
So if you're modeling nature with equalities, then that means that we are all equal and we're not treating ourselves
Yeah.
like that.
And sometimes we are nothing. Even for example, the governments. No, right now we're suffering a lot because of the water.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What's going to happen now that is kind of the weather is helping us a little bit? But what is going to happen that arrives Coca-Cola and other companies that are going to use all this water, and we're going coming back to the same problem, right?
And you know what? In the research I've been doing, sometimes companies have made far more than government itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Companies have been the ones that are being like, okay, we are doing something wrong. Let's take a look at how we make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, I've seen
Yeah.
that. Like for example, also I don't know. Maybe people's gonna hate me, but like companies like Coca-Cola, they are searching ways to have like circularity in water
Yeah, circular
resources.
economy, no?
Yes, no, but with water use.
Yeah.
And they are like doing far more related to, for example, our government.
Yeah.
You know, so they are like actually looking for solutions, and the government is not interested in that. That's something that I found out, and that truly made me sad. It's like, how is it possible that companies are far more aware than our own government, that they are supposed to be like taking care of everyone?
Even though not only the government, us as a population, right? As a society.
Yeah.
It should be more like in our more, I don't know, in our topics, no? That why, for example, recently during the campaigns, it was a topic that almost nobody touched. I don't know, for more than 5 minutes. No, why does the people doesn't care about it? Don't care about it.
I think they care, but they don't care that much, or they don't care enough.
I think because they lack of information.
Yeah.
Because
No.
once you know, you kind of like, you have to understand that whenever you learn something, is for a reason, for you to do something with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think there is a lack of information. I think there's a lack of interest in research, in doing research. I think that's
Sometimes
the thing.
even the research tells us exactly opposite sides. No, sometimes it demands you a lot of critical point of view. No, I don't think there's exist a kind of an objective truth about this all this stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
opinion.
I,
There's
I
not
think there is
truth.
no
There's not.
absolute truth as itself.
Yeah, we keep on learning, and that's what research is for, to try to keep on learning and finding like real solutions. But yeah, like I think it has been better like than back on the day, because that kind of social pressure has led to companies to take care
Yeah.
of those things we were doing. Like, yeah, and I kind of corrected. It's not that they are like, I don't think they are like really concerned about environmental impact, but they do it because of social pressure.
Yeah.
And even I mean, it doesn't matter the reason
Yeah, the
why
reason
they
is
are
not the
doing.
most
Like,
important
yeah.
thing. Sometimes it's because okay, we have a limited, and sometimes well, as the the time is coming, is going to be less optional resource. No, we have to
Yes.
save it because on this resource depends our company. No, sometimes maybe, and we have to take care of it because here is the main goal of the company, to keep growing, not to
Yeah, not to just finish.
yeah.
All of the available resources, you mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is this a topic that you touch often with, I don't know, your students maybe?
Yes, I definitely understood that environmental education doesn't have to do with your career
Exactly.
or who you are. No, it has to do with everyone, because as we
Yeah.
said, we are equal.
Mhm.
When we face nature, we are all equal.
Yeah. And we
And that's
all
why it
equally
is
are going to
important.
afford all
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
And how is it? Do you think that, I don't know, your students are getting into these kind of topics?
I don't
Or
think
they
so.
are exactly the same? I almost don't get you.
So
I-
what subject teacher are you?
Statics,
Statics.
which
okay.
is for mechanicals, electric. How is it? EL.
What?
I don't know. Yeah.
Which one?
And civil engineering.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Electronics. I don't know. Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's electronics.
Yeah.
Electronic
Yeah.
engineering, right?
Yeah. And they are not like really into that. They're in the second semester, but I did try like kind of like to reach that part with them and to make them understand that it doesn't matter your career or the approach you're given in whatever you're studying or whatever you're doing, but you have to understand that you have to be informed about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't study here. Well, any engineering career. I actually am in economic international relationships, and yeah, I think I agree with you. I think you sometimes you don't have to necessarily be part of the problem to try and, I don't know, maybe solve it, or maybe finding a way of doing things. I don't like using the word the right things. I don't like using that, but yeah, I think we are, as you said, we are part of a whole. We are part of something, and we as yeah, as humanity, we have to start taking these things to our mind, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, like start being conscious about this.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, I think it's been a very good episode today. Yeah, Raquel, uh, we're we were very pleased to have
Yeah,
you here,
Oh, thank
and
you.
we hope to maybe do this again sometime.
it was a
Of course,
pleasure.
whenever you
Okay,
want. It
yeah,
was also a
something,
pleasure to be here.
yeah, something you would like to say?
Oh yeah, like if you want to take part in like making action, keep on learning, and in so many ways in your life, you can also reach that Fundación Tlaloc. You
Yeah,
can,
Where can you
we're
find it?
going to leave the
Where can we
information.
find it?
yeah,
I don't know, in Instagram, in social
Instagram,
media.
Facebook, Twitter. Well, now it's X. I'm sorry.
X,
It's
yeah,
just
okay,
that
yeah.
I'm old school. Okay, I'm a Twitter person, but yeah, Fundación Tlaloc. Anywhere
Okay.
you want.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave all of the information below and in the description. And yeah, well, it was a pleasure. It was
Yeah, it was
very
a
nice
pleasure.
having you here,
Thank you so
and
much.
being able to do another episode of this Talking Horse podcast. So yeah, very much. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
thank you very much for listening to this episode. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.